Separated by cosmic cabinets, Brandon, Paul, and Logan are broadcasting the Nintendo Stuff podcast using their telepathic powers. My name is Brandon Miracle in front of a green curtain. If you look to the right of me in the video version, you'll see Logan Welliver making odd sounds with his nose. And if you look south of me in the video version, you'll see Paul Anderson, who was not scheduled to be on today, but we brought him on as a surprise guest.
Yeah, I'm a special guest this week. They
Special
call me
guest
Babyface Frank.
Paul Anderson. We'll put featured in the title of the video so you know that he was here as a guest. No Purple Void today. I didn't have enough time to get that ready. That said,
snap.
we got a lot of Nintendo news to talk about today, such as the rumor of a Nintendo 2.0 revision in 2019. This is something that we talked about earlier this year, but the rumor has kind of resurfaced because of a posting by the Wall Street Journal, so we're going to talk a little bit about more of that today.
Good times.
Super Smash Bros. Blog, as usual. We have a little rumory type stuff to talk about in that regard. Not something that we usually talk about on the show, but I feel like it was appropriate today because this is something I actually believe myself, and I'll get to that when we get to that a little bit later. I got Super Mario Party, so you'll get a little bit of an impressions segment from me in terms of that game, and then just all the other Nintendo news for the rest of the week. So we'll jump right into it today, guys, with the Super Smash Bros. Blog for the week of October 5th, being today.
Wow.
Excuse me. Where do we start with? Let's see. Actually, the first post of the week was... What was the first post of the week?
The 30th?
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
the
it's
30th.
30th.
That was
Okay.
the Sunday.
So it's Cap'n, the assist trophy. Cap'n's assist trophy. When Cap'n takes the stage, he hops on a bus and drives around the stage. Careful, when he hits a fighter, he'll carry them off the stage in his bus. And holy cow, is this funny to watch.
This is like the most amazing assist trophy that they've introduced, hands down. Because every time you see it, I have not failed to laugh.
It's so
Every time
funny.
I've seen it successful. It's so great.
The absolute horror on the face of the character when they get captured on the bus is amazing.
No,
Yeah, let's-
don't take
I
me to the
mean-
village.
You know, within the context of Animal Crossing, it's like, okay, thank God, like I'm being brought where I'd like to be, and obviously they just kind of turn it on its head. Who knew Captain had a dark side? You know,
When he's singing his songs, he's really plotting your death. I like this. It's a really stark contrast, like, to Animal Crossing itself, but it also digs kind of deep into Animal Crossing to deliver a really unique assist trophy. It's not on the stage very long, at least we assume. I assume after he drives off the stage that that's kind of the end of it.
He waits till he gets somebody and then he drives off.
But yeah,
If
just
he
a
was
really...
that determined, that'd be something.
It's a really cool idea for an assist trophy. Probably one of my favorite assist trophies they've introduced so far.
Definitely.
That brings us into the next day, October 1st. Today's fighter, Sheik. Now, Sheik joins the battle wearing the Sheikah costume from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a really cool update to her character model. Keep the pressure on your opponent by using his speedy dash to quickly close in on or get away from your opponent. Interesting. It's funny because on Twitter it says her speedy dash. I'm fairly certain.
well, okay.
I'm getting mixed signals
we all
here.
know Sheik, in a literal sense, is Zelda and a she, but as the persona of Sheik, like obviously she is trying to be a he. So
There's
Yeah,
also-
you gotta avoid them spoilers. You don't want people to know that a game that came out on the N64 had a character posing as a man and was really just Zelda. Oops.
Another thing that kind of like aids the issue is the English adaptation of the Ocarina of Time manga. Explains Zelda's transformation into Sheik as a legitimate transformation into a man through magic. And that the identity of Sheik is male, and that the actual gender of Sheik is also male.
I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
That's the way
Weird
it's written
things
in the
have
manga,
happened,
and a
though.
lot of people take
Yeah,
that
but the
to heart.
manga is okay. Yeah, but the manga's not canon.
No, it's not. And Nintendo recognizes Sheik as a female. Though in
Right.
this instance, I don't know. I don't know if this is a remnant of the Japanese understanding. Bill Trinan, for Nintendo of America, has said that Sheik is female. So they might have a different interpretation over in Japan.
Yeah,
That'd be my
It
guess.
happens.
But yeah, I'm glad to see Sheikah's back. It's cool that her design is based off of the Sheikah armor from Breath of the Wild. I think that's a cool update to her design.
Nice touch, yeah.
Especially for a character who's had no like further appearances outside of spin-offs like Hyrule Warriors. Is Sheik even playable in Hyrule Warriors? I actually don't know.
I'd be surprised if Sheik wasn't playable in Hyrule Warriors.
I was thinking
like all the characters they brought into that, if they didn't have Sheik, it's just weird.
I was thinking about it, and the image of Sheik popped into my head, and then immediately transformed into Impa, and then I couldn't remember if Sheik is actually in the game or not.
Yeah, Sheik's a playable character in Hyrule Warriors.
Okay.
I'd be genuinely concerned with like the amount of like content in that game if they missed Sheik.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense. That's why I was second guessing myself. I was like, that can't be right, can it?
Oh, hey, here's Linkle's playable, right?
Yeah.
Linkle is an addition.
Yep.
You make up a character and you miss Sheik. That would be something.
That said, Sheik was pretty high tier in Smash 4. It was one of the characters that Zero mained. He played her during the Smash Ultimate Invitational Tournament during E3. So the assumption right now is that Sheik is just going to continue to be high tier as usual, but we'll see. That brings us into October 2nd, which actually brings us a music update from Tomodachi Life called Afternoon on the Island. Does it remind you of the carefree island life or the various confessions of love you received there? Enjoy Masafumi Takara's arrangement. I listened to this, and I vaguely remembered the actual song from Tomodachi Life, but I thought it sounded good, just like the rest of the game's songs do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been exploring all of these songs for some of the videos on the channel. One that I put up the other day, so if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. And yeah, there's not a bad arrangement in the entire like selection so far. And I don't anticipate that there will be like a bad arrangement of a song.
Yeah.
They're just, some of them hardly like resemble like their original like counterparts, but they're all great. They're all fun.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. It's nice to get more representation from Tomodachi Life because personally I really like that game. And I would like to see a sequel in the future on Switch. So
I agree.
So yes, please.
Yeah.
I'm not done with Mii's. Everyone else seems to be done with Mii's, but I still like Mii's a lot.
I definitely need Tomodachi for my Switch so that my kids can continue to forget my birthday. I didn't even own the game for 3DS, but I'm still upset that my kids never visited me on my birthday. In your copy of Tomodachi Life.
It made me laugh every time. Every time I remembered that.
Every year, too, though. Like, I feel like you told me this for like 2 or 3 years that they just didn't visit me.
Nope, just completely ignored. I hope that doesn't reign true in the future for you, Paul. We'll do everything in our power to prevent that from happening.
I'm gonna write Nintendo with a suggested patch that your kids will visit you on your birthday.
Mandatory. It helps write your personal narrative in the games, though, and I love that kind of stupid stuff can happen.
Yeah.
Not the only update on October 2nd. We have today's stage, Saffron City, a stage based on Saffron City from Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. Pokemon appear from the doorway of the building at the center of the stage. Watch out for when Electrode appears. And what I love about this is that it uses the original, like, pixelated images from the Pokemon that come out of the door.
Right.
It's kind of great.
Yeah, like, it almost wouldn't feel right if they had updated these N64 stages. And that's not to say they haven't done any work on them. Obviously, they're in HD now, and I imagine some of the textures have been redone.
It's weird, too, because, like, in some of these where they actually had appearances in, like, Wii U, they still look significantly better in Ultimate.
Yeah, it feels like every stage, regardless of its appearance in Wii U or not, has been given a facelift, which is much appreciated. Helps the game stand on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it should be noted that, like, they're using like high quality assets. They're just making them look like really plain and blocky, right?
Yeah.
Intentionally so. So you're just gonna get a product other than like, oh, we can only fit this much on the freaking texture and on the N64, and this
Texture
is how
slots
it's gonna
confirmed.
but obviously that's not the limitation that they're dealing with now. Now they're limiting themselves just to go for a certain aesthetic. So,
speaking of refreshing Smash assets, we've got Fox, today's fighter, on October 3rd. He can overwhelm his opponent with his quick movements, and his specials don't leave him open for counterattacks. His costume and voice have been redone to match his appearance in Star Fox Zero. This Fox is brand new. Come on! I'm so glad that Fox got a visual hall upgrade. I like that it emulates Star Fox 64, but obviously it's using the Star Fox Zero design, which inherently then leads back to Star Fox 64. But
right.
I really like his new character model. I think his new fur texture looks a lot better than it did in Smash for Wii U and 3DS. Other than that, like the main thing, this is actually the most important thing that they've updated for Fox, and that is his voice. Because, oh my god, the voice line delivery in Smash for Wii U and 3DS was terrible. Landmaster! I never want to hear that again. And it's the same actor, I'm pretty sure, just reprising his role again. I just imagine that the voice direction is a little stronger this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember Falco in Smash for Wii U. With his final smash, I believe he says, personally, I prefer the air. And he says it just like that, and I hate it! I hate it!
Well, I mean, it's a guy. I kind of wish they would do the same thing for like other things. Like Nintendo seems to be like pretty inconsistent with some of their voice direction in a lot of their games, because obviously some of them are like I hear a lot of great things about what's the game with
Kid Icarus Uprising.
Yeah, Kid Icarus Uprising. I like how you just like you knew it.
The one.
Because it is the poster child of good voice acting in video games.
Right. And then like I hear about like apparently all of the like didn't the actors reprise their roles in the remake of Star Fox 64?
Yeah, so they reprised their roles in the remake of Star Fox 64, and they've kept playing the characters ever since then.
Right.
So we're still dealing with that cast here in Smash Ultimate.
Right. Oof.
Well, I heard them perform in Starlink Battle for Atlas because they perform in that game too, and they sound fantastic.
Right.
It really comes down to that voice direction.
Right. So I guess they got to fire whoever they had for the last game. Or maybe they already did, and that's why we're getting good voice direction in Smash Ultimate.
At least better than we've had.
Right.
To answer Baconator's question, is Smash Ultimate the last Smash? Funny thing about that. Sakurai always says that his next Smash is his last Smash. And this game specifically, he said he was not done making Smash and that he would do it if there was demand.
He's trying to jinx himself, get himself out.
Either that or
Reverse
he has
psychology.
finally given in. He knows his fate.
Fine, guys, I'll make Smash Brothers until I die. Are you happy now?
That said, we love Sakurai, and we would very much love to have him have his own opportunity to make something else, and let somebody else take it up.
Icarus.
I know, he hates sequels, but the thing I really want him to do is make another sequel to a different game.
A really good game.
Man, if they give me that remake on Nintendo Switch, I will buy it, and I might buy it again, and then maybe a third time. I'll buy it for you, Logan. It's so good.
Good. I'll let you buy it for me.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
I really want to play that with a Pro Controller. I want gyro aiming.
Yeah, and bring us back that awesome online multiplayer mode that wasn't like even talked about until right before the game came out. He's like, oh, here's this great online multiplayer mode for you in a 3DS game that I didn't tell you I was giving you. Thanks, Sakurai. That's Sakurai Touch. So there was also a today's flashback post to go alongside Fox McCloud's post. It says, he made his first appearance in Star Fox, released in 1993. Fox is the leader of the mercenary group Star Fox. He cares about his team and has a strong sense of justice. Fun fact, Star Fox was the first game for the Nintendo Entertainment System that featured 3D graphics. That's Super FX, Jim.
Yeah, I like how this isn't even technically like Smash related, but they were like, "Oh, here's a little tidbit of information from Fox." Like,
it's not the first time that they've done this either.
Really?
They've done this several times.
I don't remember seeing everything else. But there are also 13 pages of this blog now.
For Wario, the day Wario was released was the same day that WarioWare Gold launched, and I believe they did a little post for that as well.
Okay.
There's a lot more of these on the Japanese version of the blog. I should say.
Okay. So wait, they get the better version of the blog?
Apparently.
Goodness gracious.
They get the premium blog.
The premium Smash blog. That's okay. The Smash blog serves kind of a different purpose than the Smash Brothers Dojo for Brawl and, the Miiverse pick of the day. He doesn't use the blog to introduce things that haven't been talked about before.
Right.
That's not something we're really used to with Sakurai. It makes the wait for news a little harder, but that said, the wait from release to launch is a lot shorter than the previous games.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Especially if it doesn't actually get delayed.
I think there was a year gap between reveal of Brawl and the next character reveal.
Oof.
And I think the first character reveal after the game was revealed initially, a year later, was Ike.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did him in like 3 character bursts. I was like a fledgling internet boy back then, so I wasn't checking religiously until after that period had taken place. So it felt great to me. But man, that had to be rough for everyone else. This brings us to the final post for the week. Today's item is a Pokemon, Mimikyu. Mimikyu drags a nearby opponent under its rag, I like that they say rag, and attacks them. The opponent cannot move while captured by Mimikyu, and if they end up with more than 100% damage after the attack, they'll be instantly KO'd.
Oh.
Quick question. Why does I feel like this has actually already been shown off before?
Because this was in the Smash Direct.
I felt like this was in the blog, too, at one point. I was going crazy.
Maybe.
I don't think they would have. I mean, you'd think they'd have a little bit more, like...
I definitely
pay a little
don't
bit more
remember
attention to, like, not reposting things. I wonder if they have just like a whole list of posts, right? And at any moment, they're like, okay, post this one.
There's a whole theory about that. And all the posts seem to be pre-scheduled. When Isabelle and the last Direct got delayed, the posts started coming in out of order because they're numbered, and people picked up on that.
Oh,
they're finally back on track again. Didn't talk about that rumor too much because I didn't want to put too much stock into it.
Right.
That said, we do have another rumor to talk about, one that I'm a little more invested in. So, for those of you who aren't into the competitive Smash scene, there is a big international tournament taking place right now for Super Smash Bros. Called Big House. So this is Big House number 8. And this was the first day. The last day where all the finals will take place will be on Sunday. That said, the Smash Direct in August, that was on August 8th, was actually revealed on stage during Top 8 Finals for Melee at EVO 2018. And that's a really highly, a high-profile, highly attended tournament. And this is the same thing, but this tournament is specifically Smash, as to where EVO, is an international fighting game tournament that just features Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Big House number 7 last year was the second highest national Smash tournament attended for that entire year. Only behind Genesis, which was in January. So what I'm getting at is that I believe that on Sunday during Melee Top 8 or Smash 4, could be either one, they will announce a Smash Direct for Wednesday of next week.
Logan isn't buying it.
I don't think so, man. I see your logic, and so I'm
not even done with the evidence.
Character at
okay. I'll listen to it.
So before the Nintendo Direct, The Smash Fighter video playlist on YouTube, which is currently unlisted, was updated. And it was updated again 5 or 6 days ago. On top of that, before Isabelle and the Nintendo Direct, the new banner on the Smash blog, or the Smash website, that, dictating a new character was removed. And that also happened within the last 5 or 6 days. And I believe when they happened last time, it was exactly 10 days before Isabelle was announced.
I feel like this is the month where we're going to get, like, the next... If we get any more, like, big bursts of news, this will be it. So I kind of tend to believe you on that. It seems compelling enough.
Also, there's 2 more things. He's
not even done.
Smash at Best Buy demo tour ends this weekend. Tomorrow, I believe, or Sunday, I believe, is the last day for that. So the demo event will officially be done. On top of that,
Rip.
Today, Mike Drucker posted on Twitter, who is a writer on Adam Ruins Everything, a writer for Nintendo, and a few other places. He says, "I need an ocarina and a Deku shrub now," and he posts a picture of the moon from Majora's Mask, to then get a reply from Bill Trinan that says 72 hours remain. That was yesterday. 72 hours finishes up on Sunday night during Melee Top 8.
So you're saying we're going to get Skull Kid?
I'm not saying it's specifically going to be Skull Kid, but the stars are aligning in several areas.
That's an interesting reference, though, for a very, like, anticipated, like, much desired character.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the reason I put a little more stock in this is because this isn't the first time Bill Trinan's done something like this, and it turned out to actually mean something.
Right.
The day before E3 this year, he replied to somebody's tweet about Metal Gear Solid. They were saying something about how, like, some Metal Gear thing was making them feel old, and he replied saying, "Tomorrow's going to make you feel even older." In reference to Snake coming back.
Right.
So... I'm usually not the kind of person to talk about this kind of stuff, but I had already assumed that this was going to happen well before any of these things started coming out.
Right. And now it's like, ooh,
with like, hello,
said, the stars are aligning.
Yeah.
And now I, Brandon, have to be the crusader of astrology and predict that there's a Smash Direct announcement around the corner.
Or it's just some kind of character reveal. It doesn't have to be a direct.
Right. I will rate your prediction as plausible.
That's fair.
I'm still a skeptic. I don't see any hard evidence.
Hey, I'm a skeptic
so.
too. This is just what I think will happen.
You remember that time you thought Andre was crazy for thinking they were going to announce Smash Brothers at the end of that Direct?
Yeah, and this is me now acting on the impulse that I should have had back then.
Crazier things happen.
So, also, Summit is in November, and Summit is the end-of-the-year Smash tournament that features only the best players from that year. Call me crazy, but November's the last month before Smash comes out. That would be like the last little info drop could be right there.
Yeah, I mean, Smash comes out December 7th.
Yeah.
So as of Sunday, we're 2 months away.
Oh, man.
Yep. We're
That's
close.
Pretty close.
Sakurai did say that they're going to kind of slow down on the character reveals.
Right.
That doesn't mean there won't be any character reveals. That could mean that if there's a Smash Direct next week, that instead of giving us 5 characters, we get 1. There's also... Maybe there won't even be a character if they do a Direct. Maybe the Direct would just solely be focused on all the other modes we don't know about.
What is Spirit?
Spirits!
What is it?
It's October! Tell us what Spirits is!
Happy Halloween!
Spoopy.
Yeah, so, like, that's kind of how I feel. That said, you guys are free to think whatever you want. I'll stay tuned in to Big House over the weekend, just see if anything happens. I did the same thing for Evo, because I thought the same thing was going to happen, and everyone thought I was dumb for it, and I sat there watching Top 8, and guess what happened? Smash Direct got announced.
Got him.
Well,
You didn't even believe me, like, when I first posted it was happening.
I hope you're right, because I am always down for more news about Smash. And hopefully, I mean, regardless of whether they announce it or not, I mean, Big House is something that I would like to watch, and hopefully I get a chance to watch some of it over the weekend. But I'm also moving tomorrow, and as you can see, I got a lot to pack. So
that's good, because Sunday's really the day to watch.
Right.
Those are all your finals matches. I think Top 8 for Melee is at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. I think Wii U is right before it. Just for those of you who wanted to check it out. I was watching Melee, a little bit of Melee singles pools today, Smash 4 doubles, and then Smash 4 singles just a couple hours ago with my boys D1 and TK Breezy, my favorite commentators. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Smash news at this point, so we can get back into the regular Nintendo stuff. But I actually have to use the bathroom really quick. So, Logan, can I have you take on the next headline really quick?
I'll take on the next headline.
Cool, thank you.
So, as some of you may have already seen and already know, because you might have the game, Super Mario Party.
Disappointment.
Whoa, yeah. It only has 4 boards in it.
What is that crap, man?
I don't know, man. But I didn't have a
Hey, what's up? It's still me.
It's still him.
I didn't have to use the bathroom. Paul's actually got a gift to open.
Oh,
I'm
Look
gonna
at me
go
go.
back upstairs.
Hey, go.
You want me to wait till you get back upstairs to open this? I can read the card, guys. It says Hallmark.
It's the whole
I read
thing.
the card to you, but I can't read. What does this say? What does that say? I can't read. You will have a happy birthday, and you'll like it.
Oof.
Brandon and Michaela.
Your birthday wasn't like 3 weeks ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
I totally forgot we were doing this.
Okay, now I can because you're back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I started. Oh, we got Control Chaos to elevate the game. Ooh, we elevating, boys. Yeah.
Open that
What
up.
are you elevating
I'm
to?
working on it.
What are we elevating
What
to?
are these?
What's
What are
happening?
these?
What is he opening?
Oh,
What is he
yeah.
opening?
Oh, guys! It's Captain Falcon! It's Captain Control Captain Falcon! Yes!
Yeah.
Got these really nice gold buttons. Ooh, this is smooth. Thank you, guys.
It's got your name on it too, actually.
Oh,
So, wait, Brandon, how did this come about?
I'll explain that in just a second. As soon as Paul finds his name, I'll let him just seek it out.
Oh, there it is.
Gunny.
Come on,
Yeah,
put
let's
it
get
up
one
nice.
last shot of that. Look how shiny those buttons are.
Those are nice buttons. Oh man, this is really nice. Thank
Wow,
you.
Brandon, did you make that yourself?
Yes. No, I didn't. Paul, if you could pull up that box again. The actual packaging. Yep. It's Controller Chaos. They are a big company in St. Louis that takes controllers and paints them with custom designs. That's an official, like, GameCube controller, like a real one, by the way. So they buy them. Yeah,
That back.
you can custom order, so like you can get whatever colors you want, whatever designs. You can even message them and have them do a custom design for you if it's not one that's on their selection. And they'll put it together for you, go through the whole process. And then you wait 5 to 10 business days, or in my case, 3 weeks, and they ship it out to you.
Man, I can't wait to be trash at Smash in style now.
Yeah, you know, you got...
They meant 5 plus 10 business days.
Or so it actually took longer because I had his name put on it. Or his, his gamer tag. That added an
It's smooth,
additional
though.
4 or 5 days. Baconator, they do have a store. They have an actual location in St. Louis. If you look up their website, all the information should be on there. I assume you could go in there and order in person.
I feel like I've heard of these guys before.
Yeah, actually, if you're watching Big House, you will see a commercial every now and again for their controllers because they made the official Big House 8 GameCube controller design for this year.
Oh.
They also designed Hungry Box's official Hungry Box GameCube controller with his logo on it and everything. So yeah, Paul, I've actually wanted to get you that for like 2.5 years.
This is great, man.
The timing was just right.
I'm actually probably going to like get that shirt made with Captain Falcon's face on it just so I can like really represent.
It was so funny. You sent me that image the day or the day after I ordered the controller, and I was like, well, that's good timing.
He's getting ready. I've actually like, they have like those knitted hats. They're like Captain Falcon's helmet. I've been wanting to get like the pink Falcon one for like ever. One day I'm just gonna complete the ensemble.
Well, now you have your own GameCube controller. You can actually go back to their website if you want. They have like custom fitted controller like hard cases you can buy for safekeeping. I believe they still sell them.
Nice.
Yeah, it's surprisingly like not shiny. It's a nice matte finish. The paint is high quality. And they have a video. They have a video on their not their website. They have a video on their YouTube channel that you can watch that shows you firsthand the process they go through, and I think it's really cool. Yeah, I think the guys and gals over there do a really good job. You can buy controllers for pretty much any current gen system. You can actually get custom Switch dock designs too. They will paint the backside of your Switch. They will paint your Joy-Cons. They will paint your Pro controllers. Lots of options over there. So definitely check those guys out. Thanks to Controller Chaos for getting this to me in a timely manner. I did not order it with enough time, and that is my own fault, and I will take the blame for that. Baconator says he just looked it up, found a Galactic PS4 controller, and I'm happy now. Well, good for you. Yeah, they also have... so that's a Captain Falcon designed controller. They have other designs for specific characters in Smash Brothers. I think like 20 or 30 of the cast right now. If they don't have the character you want, like I said, you can custom order, and they will build a new design for you, which then may or may not end up on the site as a permanent purchase item. So glad you like it, Paul. We got the little the kind of the stripes from the American flag on the bottom. And then
I mean, he's Captain America now.
And there's a little bit of paint splatter on there too. Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig some of these custom designs too. Oof.
And Logan is moving to St. Louis, so you know he can go see him in person.
Wow, these are expensive.
We won't talk about that, but so yeah, I just wanted to do that. I've been waiting forever to give it to you. I've had it for like a week now.
Bless you. Yeah, I can see why you were like so antsy, because you're just like, you need to come get your birthday present. You need to come get your birthday present.
You can cross one of your controllers off of your pre-order now, unless you just want to buy more.
I mean, it never hurts to have extra GameCube controllers around.
That's true.
But this is definitely like automatically the favorite of the bunch.
Yeah, that's your controller now. Like,
it's got my name on it, guys.
Just what
you
it is.
Can't use that one.
Yeah, I wasn't sure like how the paint quality would come out, but I opened that package and I looked at it and I was like, wow.
You knew.
They did a great job.
I can't get over like the golden buttons.
I was lucky that was even an option, because it's not available on all of their designs. Initially, that controller was just like the basic colors on all the buttons and joysticks and whatnot. And I went and I custom did everything so that it would be like a nice Captain Falcon uniform design. And I saw the gold for the buttons, and I was like, yellow's not going to cut it. We got to go shiny. Okay, so we were talking about the 4-board thing in Mario Party before this happened, right?
Yes.
So where were we at in that conversation?
Just that there were 4 boards, and there should be more. And I'm pretty sure this is like the lowest amount of boards in any main line Mario Party game, not including some of the 3DS spin-offs.
It's even less than like Mario Party 10. And I think beforehand, Mario Party 10 was the lowest count.
Yeah. Though with the way that Nintendo has been doing things, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a few updates and get 2 or 3 more boards down the line, because they want to keep people playing these, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to say like, oh, 4 boards, 3, and there's 3, and then there's 1 unlockable one. So they'll probably have that one. You know, you unlock that one, and then maybe in a month or 2, they'll be like, here's another board. Hey, guys, let's buy more Mario Party, right?
So there's an in-game currency you can get called party points that you just get from, playing the game, collecting stars and all that whatnot. And you can use that currency to buy new things in the game itself. So the infrastructure for, like, free DLC updates is already in place. They could release a new board and then have you buy it using your party points. Also, the party points thing is a really good way to keep people playing for longer, or that incentive, which I really appreciate.
DLC boards is like a good way also to like keep this in the public eye, going like deeper into the holiday season. Like, oh, hey, there's more boards in Mario Party now.
That's what Nintendo has been doing with all of their stuff, right? It's like, okay, there's still more content coming. So once you forget about something, even if it's something small that gets people to go back and like, hey, I really like that game, there's free content. Okay. And then it gets them into the game, and all of a sudden they're playing again, right?
Yeah, I mean, and not only could they do that with boards, they could add, I could see them doing this in packs. Like, you get a pack that has a character, a board maybe related to that character, and then maybe a handful of mini games for each category to kind of go along with it. And I think that'd be a great value. I would be more than happy to buy more boards for Mario Party. Even if we had like a full board selection already, like, yeah, I would definitely buy more content, because Mario Party is a game you can always go back to. It's one of my definite backup games. Like, if, we have a get-together and we're not sure what to do, well, dish out Mario Party. It's easy enough to set up. Everyone can have fun. It's not overly challenging. And the nice thing about Super Mario Party, I guess I'll talk about the game a little bit since I've had a little bit of hands-on time. Super Mario Party is a blessing for me in many ways. Not only is it a return to form for Mario Party, but also it prevents me from having to get out my Wii, plug it in, plug the sensor bar in, charge up my Wii remotes, go into GameCube mode, and then play Mario Party using standard definition hardware, which is a real hassle for me these days to actually set up and get ready. Now I have Mario Party on my Switch. It's installed digitally. I can just turn it on whenever. Everyone gets a single Joy-Con to play, because that's the only way it supports. You have to play with one Joy-Con. And then you play Mario Party. It's the easiest setup for Mario Party I've ever had. At least in like the last 5 to 10 years.
And then you can play it on the go within tabletop. And if somebody else has Mario Party on the Switch, you can do weird stuff with it.
You can do weird stuff. So I'll give you some quick impressions of Super Mario Party. I've played one board. I played the first board in the game, Womp Ruins. Me and Michaela. We did 10 turns, which the game estimates at 60 minutes. It took us 40 minutes. Sorry, game, but you were wrong. The boards are very, very small. Think of a Mario Party board from like 5, 6, and 7, and then drop it down to about a third of that size, and that's Mario Party, or Super Mario Party. That said, that is kind of an effect of the dice rolls being much smaller. For most characters, you are up to 6 as your highest roll. And the board sizes kind of reflect that now. The actual Mario Party itself is a return to form. Everyone's moving separately, collecting coins, playing minigames every turn, buying stars. That's the core of Mario Party. That's there. It's in place. Excuse me. And that part is great. I had a smile on my face from ear to ear for the entirety of my first board of Mario Party. I was having a really good time. That said, it does come with some grievances. The boards so far are really bland. There is not a lot going on. There are not a ton of items, and there are not a lot of actual board events. Board events, I think, really sell the boards from like the older games, like getting shot out of a cannon, monkey
Right.
kicks you in the head and you lose some coins, just, you know, dumb stuff like that. And there's not a lot of that here. So in the future, I'd like to see kind of more of that integrated back into Super Mario Party. But for a trial run of going back to form, I can accept this, and I actually really like it. So that's a good sign. The core gameplay is fun, and that's what I need it to be. Minigames are great. I really have no complaints, just to be perfectly honest with you. There are a lot of minigames you play with the Joy-Con on its side, just like traditional Mario Party, and then a lot of them that you use motion controls with the Joy-Con in vertical mode, which works great. No more having to put batteries in your Wii remotes to play Mario Party 8 or Mario Party 9 or Mario Party 10 for that matter. The Joy-Cons are always charged because presumably they're always on your Switch. It's just such a convenient setup. I look forward to playing this one a lot. I actually had a lot of fun with the motion-controlled minigames. There's one where you hold up a magnifying glass with the Joy-Con, and your goal is to put the character that's on the screen in focus. And once they're in focus, they'll wave at you, and then you get points. And it's really cute, really pretty in HD, and just like a really novel way of using the Joy-Con. And let me talk about HD Rumble, actually. HD Rumble is really well integrated into Super Mario Party. You'll feel it activated like when you collect a star or just like basic board events, but they also integrate it into some mini games and specifically one of the battle scenarios. So traditional battle mini games are actually gone. Now when you land on a versus space or a battle space, you just kind of do something on the board itself really quick. You wager coins, you do the thing really fast, and it's over. But the one Mikhail and I did, we were standing in front of a button, and then the Joy-Con started rumbling at different strengths. And it was like, remember the highest strength. And then after that, the Joy-Con rumbled again, and you had to press the A button when it was rumbling at its peak.
Right. So they're actually using the HD Rumble outside of 1-2 Switch in an interesting way.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool. You can definitely feel like the difference in vibration strength. HD Rumble really is well shown off in this game, I think. Probably one of the best cases, like you said, since the ball game from 1-2 Switch.
Yeah, and I've never actually played 1-2 Switch.
Me neither.
So
Same.
All this said, Mikhail and I finished playing Super Mario Party. We did our first board. Then we went and played Soundstage mode, which is a rhythm-based mode that we had a lot of fun with, actually. We also completely beat it, like 100% in 15 minutes. That's a little concerning, but that said, we had a lot of fun with it. And then it was midnight, you know, it's our bedtime. We both have to go to work in the morning. We just kind of walked around the plaza, looking at stuff and talking to characters because we knew we didn't have time for another board, but at the same time, we really didn't want to stop playing.
Well, how was that presented then? Like, I didn't even consider, like, what do you mean by the plaza?
You free roam around the plaza. There's NPCs, and you can talk to them and look at stuff.
And do you go to, like, different locations to go into the...
So they're posed as attractions, and you walk up to the attraction to take part in the actual game.
That's pretty cool.
It's interesting. When you first start up the game, it asks you how many players there are and how many switches are involved. After you do that, it has you select characters. You select your characters for all of the human players, and then it takes you to the plaza and gives you 3 groups of 2 characters for normal, hard, and very hard. And it just has you pick a pair of characters, and so it's randomly choosing the other computers based on what difficulty you pick. You can go back and change them after the fact, but I thought it was an interesting way to present that. And then from there, once your characters, the number of players, all of that is selected, then you can pick any of the various modes in Super Mario Party. So they've kind of rearranged the way in which you set parameters for these modes, which I thought was interesting. It's kind of like selecting your stage first in Smash Ultimate. That's kind of how I relate these changes. And at any point, you can go back to Toad in the plaza, talk to him, and you can change things out. Or if there are NPCs on the field and you talk to them, sometimes they will be like, hey, you know, I kind of want a party. And then it will say, and then it will give you the choice, swap somebody out, and then you can swap them out on the fly.
Okay.
Roberto was...
That sounds like a really just... I mean, obviously, it's just the same functionality of, what has been in past games, just presented in a different way.
Yeah, the presentation overall in Super Mario Party, I think, is the strongest Mario Party's ever had. That said, I can't say the same for the story.
Well, did you really expect it to be a good story?
No, but I expected there to be, literally anything. The characters are all standing in the middle of the park having a discussion about who's the superstar. And they're like, how are we going to do this? Well, I guess we could have a Mario Party, and then they have a Mario Party.
Really compelling premise.
Yeah, it's like the most baseline Mario Party has ever been. They just got straight to the point. That said, I love Mario Party, or Super Mario Party so far, and I can't wait to play more.
Good.
I can't wait to play it too.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it. I'm a little bit out from it, from being able to buy that and then everything else.
You could also just log into my account and download it.
That's very true.
With that Switch game share.
Yeah.
So moving on from Super Mario Party, we've got a poll from Famitsu, the most wanted games in Japan. And I thought we'd just go down the list a little bit to get an idea of what people think. First is Dairon to Smash Bros. Special, which is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, with 618 votes, followed by Persona Q2 for the 3DS, followed by Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, with a huge deficit between 2 and 3, like by 300 votes. We're down to like 276 for Pokemon. Then Shin Megami Tensei 5, Bayonetta 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and then we skip all the way to number 11, Animal Crossing Switch.
Oh, no.
I was a little disappointed to see that, but at the same time, we haven't seen any of the game yet, so there's not a lot of reason for people to be excited.
The fact that it's already up there and it's like was just announced, like everybody's like, oh, wait a minute. So I think it's coming and people want it. So
yeah,
it's
for sure.
Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS.
And that information comes from JapaneseNintendo.com. And yes, it was below Luigi's Mansion 3DS, which I thought was pretty sad, but that's just me.
Funny enough, so is Yokai Watch for the Switch.
True.
Go Luigi's Mansion, I guess.
So coming from ARS Technica, we have an interesting kind of look at Reggie Fils-Aimé. We have that statement he's known for saying, we're not competing against Xbox and PlayStation, but that's not what I want to talk about. Coming out of this article, towards the end, let's see, it says, in reference to virtual reality, he says, this is something we constantly think about and experiment with. For virtual reality, we've said it's tech that we're looking at, but in the end, it has to be fun. That's our mission, and that is what we do arguably better than anyone else. We have nothing to announce here on this stage. These are going to be technologies that we'll continue to experiment with. There are new experiences we want to bring to life. And this is also something that they've reiterated a few times. But I think it's interesting that in the current state of VR, where not a whole lot of interesting things are happening, Nintendo is still against the grind, trying to figure out how to make VR fun and how to apply it to their products.
Yeah, this really illustrates like the type of company Nintendo is.
Yeah, I think they've got their priorities in order as far as how they approach new ideas and content.
At least this time around, they didn't say, "Oh, VR is never going to take off."
They see some kind of value in it. They must have some kind of idea. I mean, we have Mario Kart VR that is now in North American arcades, which is currently spreading through the arcades. But
isn't it like one arcade currently?
Yeah,
with that attitude.
But it's been in Japan for a while now. I think it's like in Washington D.C. currently, but it will be in more arcades throughout the rest of the year and next year.
Right.
Let's see. Speaking of hardware, this is kind of the namesake of today's episode. A new Nintendo Switch model will release in the second half of 2019, according to the Wall Street Journal. And there's a lot to go along with this from Takashi Mochizuki on his Twitter account. He says, new version of Nintendo Switch may arrive as soon as summer next year, sources say. Machine specs not finalized yet, but one option is improvement on the display. Third-party publishers hope new Switch would give clear hint what would happen to the Nintendo 3DS line. Nintendo is still thinking about what features to integrate. One option to change the display, also to improve battery life specifically in that regard. So we've had this conversation before on this show with Nintendo Switch possibly having a hardware revision next year, but after kind of a long silence, we have a little bit more information now. Not that I think that the Wall Street Journal, is a credible source by any means, but they have some kind of insider source that is delivering this information, so I'm a little more inclined to believe. That said, what are you guys kind of expecting out of hardware revision? What do you think will happen, and what do you want to see?
Sturdier hardware. There's a lot of those issues right out of the gate with like them getting bent and warped in the dock and scratching and that kind of thing. I'm definitely expecting to see just overall sturdier hardware. What they were saying about improved display, I'm okay with that too.
They have a battery expansion issue to fix.
I want to see a revision of the Pro controller. I want to plug in my headphones and just voice chat through my Pro controller. Just an idea, throwing that out there.
Yeah, for as nice as the Switch is, and I don't really have a lot of complaints, but if you look kind of here, you probably can't see it very well. Okay, I'm not even going to try. But not long after I got my Switch, I had a little chip in it. And I was able to get that little chip and put it back in there and super glue it, and it's stayed ever since. But yeah, there's a lot of things about the Switch that aren't like amazing. And I don't know. I would like to have some actual beefier specs that would be able to handle more games just in general, right? And just open up the options for developers who have beefier games to be able to not have to do necessarily as much work to get it onto the hardware itself. And that would increase, the chances that Switch would get other games, because at this point, everybody wants to put their game on the Switch. It's a question of okay, are we going to dedicate the resources to making a version that can run on the Switch currently? But if Nintendo came out and was like, okay, this one's a little bit beefier and it kind of meets those requirements, and then all the developers are like, oh, this is looking pretty good, right? Especially if there ends up being some sort of exchange program where you can, trade in your Switch and be like, oh, I want this Switch for a discount, and not have to trade in your Joy-Cons or anything, just the actual Switch itself.
It'd be cool, if they don't have one specifically through Nintendo, if there was some kind of program through GameStop where you could just trade in the actual screen part of your Switch and keep all your accessories. And then have an option on the first-party market in order to just buy a Switch revision, just the screen.
Right.
That's my perfect world for pro consumer. Because given the way that the Switch is, it's a very modular system. All the parts are kind of separate, and the main hardware piece can be purchased, or should be able to be purchased alone, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, so I think they could, if they had a beefier one and they just made it sturdier, maybe the face of it is glass as opposed to plastic. For the touchscreen, that would be nice. I don't know. I think Nintendo's gearing up for a lot of other products as well. They just filed for a trademark for it
was a patent, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a patent. So they filed a patent for a Game Boy accessory case for phones, right? And I've been saying for a while, I'm like, Nintendo, if they in this other article we were talking about with Reggie, is they like to think of themselves as an entertainment company as opposed to just a gaming one, right? And this is pretty clear in the sense of okay, we're going to start using our intellectual properties and make movies. We got the Mario movie on the way. And so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to see like a gaming centric phone, like Android phone from Nintendo. That already has like a lot of the Nintendo stuff like built in and like with the bloatware, right? And so like if you have a Switch, you know, maybe that's a really compelling case to say like, okay, here's our Nintendo phone. And I'd even be okay with like Nintendo TVs and stuff like that, right? And just you build in like certain services right into the TV. I think there's a lot of potential for these things to happen. Whether they will or not is an entirely different question, but I'd love to see them.
For me, I think I would just want kind of what Paul said, for them to fix the kind of issues that we have with the Switch now, and battery expansion problems, maybe making it so that the Joy-Con attachments don't break as easily if you drop them. As far as like Nintendo products go, this is the most, I don't want to say bad, but it's not the most refined.
It seems like
released.
they cut corners in some ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what it feels like. It's not a bad product in the grand scheme of things, but it does have some like shortcomings in terms of the make. It doesn't feel quite as sturdy or as solid as some things are. But I guess maybe that's partially due to them trying to keep costs low and to sell for a profit. So be able to get that thing down, you know, below 300 to sell it at 300. In addition to all the overpriced peripherals that they're like, we're making money on this because we can't do what we were doing with the Wii U. We're not going to risk that.
Well, I mean,
but now that they're in a better, they're in a better place, right? They have more freedom to say like, okay, we're going to make like a secondary product that's going to go along with the original Switch. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. Yeah.
You want to know how to make some extra money, though? Make it so that if the customer drops a Joy-Con, it breaks and they have to buy another one.
Oh, God. I've already had enough trouble with my my Joy-Con, like the control sticks. In the sense of, like, I'll be playing Binding of Isaac, and all of a sudden, like, my character will start moving north, and I'll have to, like, kind of mess around with it. And it doesn't have to do with calibration. It just has to do with kind of like faulty hardware.
I've heard
It's
that
definitely
a lot of people have had that issue, and that they actually fixed it just by cleaning the inside.
Okay, I might have to do some of that for that and for my my Pro controller as well, because
it's definitely not going to be one of those situations like the original Game Boy. I've read stories that are like people's houses burned down and they pull like this charred Game Boy out of the ashes and it still just works.
There's one that survived like a grenade explosion that's in a museum right now, I think. And it still works.
Like I said, you know, they've probably learned from that. Like, if you make an indestructible system, people aren't going to break them and buy another one.
Right.
It is a portable. So yeah, in addition, I would like to see some kind of hardware improvements, maybe like on a new Nintendo 3DS kind of level, with a little bit more CPU power. That's not something I personally expect for the 2019 revision. Just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
If anything, I would see this being the Nintendo DS Lite equivalent to a Switch revision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the more likely of the outcomes. Definitely. Though I can't help but feel that they need to start doing like every revision is just a little bit beefier, you know?
We do
like
have the Tegra X2 out.
Yeah, like have
I put a camera in it.
A new benchmark for the Switch, right? And I mean that's what we're getting with PS4, it's what we're getting with Xbox One. And I know Nintendo loves to be like, oh yeah, we're not gonna do it just because everybody else is doing it, but I think this is something that they should do.
Now that they've got third parties on their system, they need to keep them there.
Yeah.
Anything else about a hardware revision before we move on?
Nope.
It's an idea.
A couple things to mention. Monolith Soft is recruiting first production development staff for a new RPG project that comes from Gematsu. So, I mean, they've had wild success with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and the Torna Golden Country DLC expansion. They exceeded expectations on both of those releases, so I imagine that they are very gung-ho about their next project, which I imagine will be Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or Xenoblade Chronicles X2.
I'd be into that.
Dream Drop says, "Hi, Monolith. Please recruit me, thanks." Dragalia Lost got revenue numbers in from SensorTower.com. Currently sitting at $3 million over launch weekend, I believe, or the first 3 days it was, which is the lowest of all of Nintendo's mobile games since they started delivering them.
I'd like to make the lowest of their mobile games.
Fire Emblem Heroes, I think, was like $18 million.
13 million.
13
13
okay.
million. Yeah.
Super Mario Run was 8.3. Animal Crossing's actually depressing 4.6 million. And
given that this was like not based on a known IP, like 3 million's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I would say that Nintendo didn't do a very good job of advertising the game. They had that Nintendo Direct, and then the game just kind of came out. That said, it was number one on the iOS store, or the App Store.
I almost completely skipped the Direct, too. So...
I've learned in this business that if Nintendo does a Direct, even for a game you don't care about, you should probably watch it.
That's fair. I'm glad I watched it, and I'm glad I played it, but...
Yeah. So... I mean, I'm pretty pleased with Dragalia Lost, and I think that's a mainstay at this point. $3 million still. That's a lot of money. And that's for first weekend. They have many more weekends to go.
I'm considering tossing a little bit of money at them, and I don't even have money.
I pulled a 5-star summon today. I was really happy about that. A character.
Whoa, you got, like, any 5-star summon?
That's my third 5-star
summon. They keep giving me, like, 3 stars, and then, like, when you do, like, the tenfold summon, they swear you'll get a 4-star, and they never do any better than 4-star. They're like, well, we've met our quota with this one 4-star, what are they? Whimprints?
Wormprints, yeah. The nice thing is that every time you don't pull a 5-star, they actually increase your percentage chance of getting a 5-star, and it stacks.
It hasn't helped me, apparently.
They just, like, gave away 3 single summon tickets over the last few days, and I just got a free 10-fold ticket today. They just, like, gave it to me. I'm like, all right, 10 summons. And then I got my 5-star character summon.
Wow, I wish I could friggin' play this game.
Yeah, you're missing out on all the launch free stuff that they're giving to people.
You know, okay, ever since I upgraded my my SD card in my Switch, I put my smaller 4 gig SD card, so I might have room for it now. Depending on how intensive the actual program is.
It is a couple gigs on its own.
Right, so I might still have to just wait until I get a phone upgrade.
Oh, hey, you want to do literally any, like, mission? Download some more data.
It's all temp data, though.
Still.
Which is something I don't see people ever talking about. I believe after you close the application, it deletes the temp data, and then you have to re-download it if you do the mission again.
I'm temp data.
Which, in my opinion, is a really smart way to handle the game, rather than having all of that data always.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's true.
It's a lot of data for a phone.
Yeah. In addition, we got Splatoon coming up in a weekend or two, I think.
I like this a lot.
So 2 weekends
the visuals. Yeah.
So if you go on the old Nintendo news section of your Nintendo Switch with your copy of Splatoon 2 in the system, you can currently get free Halloween gear for your Inkling and Octoling just by going into that little news story and clicking the launch link that's in there. In addition to that, they're doing a whole Halloween-inspired Splatfest with Halloween decorations, Halloween costumes, Halloween everything. It's really cool. Like, this is the most, like, this is like the biggest Splatfest they've ever done in terms of execution, because they're redesigning all of Inkopolis to be Halloween themed, and I think that's awesome. Yeah,
definitely.
They got a new version of the logo for Splatooine. So cool stuff.
Oh, this is great. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also great because, you know, we just had the last map to be added to Splatoon 2 dropped last week, or I think it was earlier this week. And then this was announced pretty much right after that. So, you know, last piece of major map DLC content. Oh, here's a big, old, cool Splatfest we've never done before. So, Splatoon 2 still has some life, guys. We got about a year left of this. Maybe less than that, like 8 months, 9 months. In addition to that, I guess I'll spend a little bit more time on the Splatoon 2 maps. We're currently at 24 maps in Splatoon 2, which is 8 more than Splatoon 1.
Respectable.
A fun fact, there are 8 Splatoon 1 maps in Splatoon 2. So there were 16 brand new maps for Splatoon 2, plus 8 maps from Splatoon 1. Though they were retooled, a lot of them. And I think that's a pretty good package. 24 maps is a lot of maps.
Yeah. Especially considering like the way they kind of cycle through them.
And then you got Shifty Station too, which is new for every single Splatfest. If like all of those get put in the game after Splatfests are over, what's that, like 24 more new maps on top of that for like 48 total?
See, some of those are actually like, some Shifty Stations were really good. Others were really not. But the ones that were really good, like I'd like to see them just in there.
It's a bit of a mixed bag, but there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. They tried.
It did. Moving on, NES Open Tournament Golf, Solomon's Key, and Super Dodgeball are coming to Nintendo Switch Online on October 10th. So these are the next 3 games.
Thank God it's not NES Baseball again.
No, but don't sleep on Super Dodgeball. That game's fun.
Also, I'm kind of excited to play Open Tournament Golf as well. I'm just a big fan of golf sims in general, and it works pretty well even on NES hardware.
Yeah, they kind of have a tried and true formula for that. I love Golf Story, loved all the Mario Golf games. Really hoping for Mario Golf on Switch. But yeah, Super Dodgeball in particular I wanted to kind of highlight, because that is a competitive 1v1 game on NES, where you're playing dodgeball, of course, but you have like these crazy hyper throw, super move type stuff that you can do. The functionality of Super Dodgeball is kind of ahead of its time as an NES game. So definitely try it. It's really fun. 2-player simultaneous 1v1. I think you can also play on the same team and play against the kind of the story arcade mode. So that's a great addition for the Nintendo Switch Online functionality. So definitely give that one a go.
Will do.
Let's see. Capcom is looking at more opportunities to bring cloud-based versions of video games to Nintendo Switch. They kind of did a test drive with Resident Evil 7 in Japan, and it looks like that will be the first of many.
Okay.
I would like for this to come to the States.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
I don't care. Like, I mean, most of the time when I'm playing my Switch, I'm playing it, we're somewhere where I have like an internet connection, so especially if I'm at home with decent internet, then like this won't be a problem at all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm not personally against this. I mean, they're going to bring a lot of games that otherwise wouldn't be available on Switch. That's the hope.
Yes.
I don't want to see games that could easily run on the platform being available only as cloud-based. That is the kind of... that's the kind of... I can't even think of what I was going to say. I don't want to see that. That's what I'm going to say. I don't want to see that.
It would be cool to see like certain titles that could run on the Switch, like included in the streaming service, and you just be able to like download them to play them offline. and not have to stream them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be a good alternative.
Yeah.
And then just kind of lose the license when the subscription is up.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they do with Xbox Game Pass. Is there's no streaming on that. You can just download them. And then I think PlayStation Now is adding that functionality in. So it's not like if you have good internet, and you can stream them fine, awesome. But if you don't have good internet, it's still a viable subscription service for those people.
I'm into that.
Capcom is not the only company looking at this. Apparently, Square Enix is also considering this specifically to get Kingdom Hearts 3 on Nintendo Switch. There's a rumor coming from just a rando YouTube channel called Dreamcast Guy. He says, let's see, I can find the specifics. The company apparently really wants to get the game up and running on Nintendo Switch. If this is indeed legitimate, then it sounds like they may be investigating cloud streaming options like Capcom has done with Resident Evil 7 on Nintendo Switch, and Ubisoft has done with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, both of which are streamed to the Nintendo Switch via your internet connection. I don't think I knew about Assassin's Creed Odyssey doing that. Is that only available in other territories?
I guess so.
I had no idea about that at all. But I would not be against this if this is the only way that Kingdom Hearts 3 could run on Switch. It's fine.
Yeah.
That said, Switch has native support for Unreal Engine 4, which is what that game runs on. So don't short us if that's the case.
You're right. I mean,
We
they
all
probably
know
could
that
do some
Panic
work to
Button's up
get
to
that
the
game
task.
running.
What was that, Paul?
Everybody knows Panic Button's up to the task.
Yes, they are. It's nice to see that Square Enix is so gung-ho about getting games on Switch. It's been a long time since Square Enix has been that gung-ho about doing anything with Nintendo, to be honest.
Right.
We're getting all these Final Fantasy games. That was a historic moment in that Direct. I don't know if you guys really understood the weight of that, because that was the first time a console Final Fantasy game was coming to a Nintendo platform since before Final Fantasy VII on PS1.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So bring us Kingdom Hearts 3. That'd be great. Like and subscribe. Funny name. Says Assassin's Creed Cloud was shown off in the Japanese Direct. Thank you.
Okay.
So that's why we didn't know about that.
Explains a lot.
Yeah. Animal Crossing for Nintendo Switch could be released as early as Q1 2019. This comes from Loot Pots. They have an insider source, that's what they say, suggesting that it will be set for late Q1 or early Q2, which would be between March and April 2019 at a suggested price of $60. Dream Dropper said mainline Final Fantasy. I don't think Crystal Chronicles, I don't think they consider that one. I could be wrong.
They don't even they try to deny that game exists. It doesn't exist. It's not real. We never made it. What?
This is so for Animal Crossing. This is kind of the launch window I was already under the impression that Animal Crossing would be releasing in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna be honest. What do you guys think about that?
Well, there's two parts to this. There's one, the actual reality, the plausibility. I think it's totally plausible. We don't know how long Animal Crossing Switch has been in development for. If the patterns of recent Nintendo are anything to follow, they'll announce a game and it'll come out a few months later, right? And that happens a lot. A lot of the times it's within 6 months, sometimes a little bit longer, but I feel like we haven't had to wait long for a ton of things. There have been a few games, obviously something like Yoshi, just kind of take a back burn. I got on the back burner and it's like, okay, we'll deal with that later. But a lot of their games have been like, okay, we're ready to release this now. And so I would think that Animal Crossing Switch is pretty far into development, and that we'll probably get it sooner rather than later. And Q1, Q2, that May, April,
Good time
that
for
sounds
Animal
like
Crossing.
a good time. It sounds like a good time. I want to start playing Animal Crossing in the spring.
I personally, thought it would be like a July release, summer.
Right.
Spring, summer, both are good times for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I don't want to start my Animal Crossing town or my village in the fall or the winter seasons. I just don't feel like that makes sense. All the Animal Crossing art and stuff you see in Smash Brothers and other media, it always focuses on that spring kind of summer look where the grass is green, trees are green. That's just the way I would expect them to deliver the game to you for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that this game is a lot further along in development than you'd even think. I mean, I'm going to guess they had this in mind when they were making the mobile game.
Well, when they talked about the mobile game before it came out, they specifically mentioned it had functionality with a mainline Animal Crossing game.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Pocket Camp came out last November, and we had known about it since the beginning of that year, I believe.
Yeah, let's see. The first Animal Crossing was released in Japan on the N64 in April of 2001. And then the GameCube version came out in December. GameCube version in the US came out in September of 2002, though. But it remains to be seen. Like, okay, Wild World, let's see, released in North America in December. City Folk released in the US in November. So, I mean, there's not any pattern in terms of like, okay, we're going to release during this season because we want to make sure that people are starting in a certain season.
That
right?
could also be an effect of localization and the game's not coming out worldwide.
Well, that's very true. And so maybe they want to plan for this, but I mean, there's no reason necessarily to believe that they will. They're just going to, when it's finished, they're like, here it is.
My guess is that Animal Crossing has been dark for so long is because they plan on worldwide launch this time.
I would be very, very happy about that. I mean, it sounds like they have the resources nowadays, right?
Well, that, and I mean, think about the Switch. The Switch is a region-free device now. If they release their first-party games on the system, they're going to have, there'll be a little bit of a disjointed sales number with the people that buy the Japanese version and just play that rather than buying it.
Yeah, and how big Animal Crossing is, Mm-hmm. I think New Leaf sold like easily over like 12 million. By June 2018, all combined versions, 11.78 million. And then I know Wild World did over 12 million. So it's a large, series in terms of sales. I don't expect. I mean, I expect Animal Crossing Switch to pull those kind of numbers.
Yeah, me too. Animal Crossing is going to be one of those tentpole games on the system. Real system seller, obviously. Alongside Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
That Fortnite bundle that is currently on the market with $45 of Fortnite content bundled in the box.
Boom.
This is not an ad.
My portable Fortnite machine.
Where's my phone? A couple more things to talk about really quickly. Kotaku says Telltale is looking for another company to finish The Walking Dead, the final season, with the former Telltale employees. I think that's great. If that works out, that's fantastic. I'd really like to see that series get its closure before the employees go on to do something else.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I know, Paul, that you watched the footage, but I don't know if Logan did.
Of what?
There was leaked Harry Potter video game footage.
I did. I did.
It looks really good.
I posted it in the chat. I watched it.
Okay. It looks pretty cool.
I'm
It
really
looks a
into what I
little
saw.
janky because it's like off-screen like footage, and so initially when I was seeing like images like foot up, and I'm like, that looks awful, but then you see it in action and you realize, oh, it's off-screen, and then it looks pretty
It
good.
looks like a AAA production to me.
Right.
It looks like it might actually be a fun Harry Potter game.
It looks like the Batman Arkham Asylum kind of thing, but for Harry Potter, you know?
I just want to duel other people with wands and magic and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually had fun growing up playing some of the Harry Potter games, so and they might not have always been the best, but I look forward to this one maybe because it might be good.
So it was a full trailer that leaked to the internet. It had like Xbox inputs as far as the UI is concerned. The saddest part of all of this is that Warner Brothers leaked it themselves. They added it to an unlisted. They added an unlisted video to a public playlist, which made it public.
I don't know if that was Warner Bros. It's probably like some intern. Like,
Well, it was
hey
under
guys,
the Warner
go
Brothers
ahead and
banner.
Turn.
And he's just doing what he's supposed to do, right? But he's not thinking. Then he does it.
That's
Somebody
also
got
something you
fired.
kind of have to know before you do. Like, you assume
At
if
least
it's
it wasn't
unlisted, it won't
Walmart.
show up. What's that, Paul?
At least it wasn't Walmart this time.
Rage 2? Yeah, this looks fantastic. And you want to know when we were going to hear about this? The Game Awards.
Oof.
That was the
sounds
Game
like
Awards
a good
reveal.
place to, yeah. Ooh, it's gonna be a good Game Awards. Do you think they're gonna push up the reveal, or they're gonna keep it for the Game Awards?
They were like mass ticking down uploads of the trailer, so I think they're still going to save it for the Game Awards. They'll probably be cheeky with it and be like, you guys knew it was coming or whatever, but I think it's still going to be saved for that. The Game Awards has had some high-profile game announcements in the last few years, and this is one that I think would really appeal to a lot of that audience.
Yeah, it's such a well-respected presentation at this point, you know, and even after a few years, like they just treated it well, and they treated, you know, they really thought about the presentation, and so now it's just something we look forward to every year, you know?
Yeah, if you don't watch the Game Awards, I mean, it still comes with that live stage show cringe that you're used to. But it is what it is. Jeff Keighley tries very hard to make that a show that gamers can be proud of. And the reason I say that is because this year, and for the years to come, I highly recommend that you watch it. This is something that the community should enjoy together. And he's making sure that you got game announcements there too. That's the coolest thing you could ask for at a Game Awards show. Wasn't it like the Game Awards 2014 or 15 that announced the Phantom Pain?
Yeah.
We all watched that together,
in
and that
there.
was a cool reveal.
And they didn't even put like Metal Gear attached to it. They
That didn't
just
stop
announced
Paul
Phantom
from knowing it
Pain.
was Metal Gear.
Yeah, everybody knew it was Metal Gear. They're like, oh, it's Metal Gear. But
People like put together the logo after that, and they're like, guys, it's Metal Gear.
yeah.
But when you look back at that trailer, like that's obviously Solid Snake. it's his hair. Yeah, so that said, definitely check out the Game Awards. Nintendo's announced some cool stuff at previous shows, and I expect that to happen again.
Reggie's got Metroid shirt.
Yeah, totally
Watch
gonna
the
announce
Game
new
Awards.
Kirby game. That's what it's gonna be, new Kirby game.
We're actually gonna get our first look at Yoshi. Okay. Our second look at Yoshi.
Yes,
Third look at Yoshi.
this would be the third time.
Four.
Yeah.
Third look. Third look. Figured it out.
Okay, so that brings us to the ends of the news this week. A lot of smaller, interesting stories. Not a lot happening. I already talked about Super Mario Party, so I don't really have anything to say there. Still playing Dragalia Lost. Still enjoying myself.
Still good. Yeah.
Paul, it looks like you played Xenoblade.
I decided that I'd get back into Xenoblade. I finally made it to the town that I've been trying to get to for like, I guess it's been months now.
It's like the first town you visit in the game that's not the one you start in.
Okay, so funny story though, like I decided I'm gonna go straight to this town, right? And I start on my merry way, and a giant bird, like level 76, descends from the sky and kills me in one shot.
That's Xenoblade. You gotta
I'm like, I was trying. This time I was finally trying, and you punished me.
Xenoblade, you really got to plan your path in those games because you'll die. That game is not afraid to kill you.
Oh, he looks fun. He looks like a cute, massive monkey. Oh no, he's level 80. Run!
There is actually several level 80 monkeys in the exact area that Paul's in right now.
Fun stuff. I mean, I was actually trying to like avoid the confrontation too. I just kept running, and it shot like an energy ball at me, and I couldn't dodge.
At least the game isn't too punishing when it kills you. I think you retain your experience and level, and it just pushes you back to the last checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, despite that one setback, I did make it to the town immediately following that. I finally made it to the town. And I didn't make it too much further since then, but now it's in my Switch, and I'm more than likely going to continue playing it a little bit.
Only 55 hours more to go, and you'll be done.
Yeah! And I get that DLC pack.
Which only takes 10 to 20 hours.
Can we get a port of Xenoblade Chronicles for the Switch?
Yeah, I really want to play that on a system that's not a 3DS.
Or a Wii. Of course, if you want to play it on Wii, you gotta cough up some cash money.
Yeah, I mean, I still see it at on store shelves at GameStop to this day.
That's impressive. Though they did do a reprint at some point. Same thing with Metroid Prime Trilogy.
And they were both exclusive to GameStop, I think. In terms of distribution.
I remember going to pick up Xenoblade with my brother just because we didn't even know what it was. We were just like, okay, it's a JRPG that Nintendo is publishing. That's a first party. And like, okay, I guess we're getting this. And look how well Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is done, you know?
Yeah. I remember pre-ordering Xenoblade Chronicles, and then I just never picked it up.
The original one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles at GameStop. Only at GameStop. Pre-owned, $50.
Expecting that I'd be able to afford it, and then I just couldn't have the time.
I hear so many good things about the story of that game specifically. And the character of Shulk is really well loved. As to where the character of Rex, this is kind of people don't care. They like Pyra a lot more.
I wonder why.
It's not for that reason, actually.
Good.
It probably contributes, but it's not the reason.
It's not the sole reason.
There we go. That's probably going to do it for our show, unless, Logan, you have any Switch or Nintendo games you played.
You know, I've been playing stuff on Twitch all week. I've been playing a little bit of Batman, a little bit of Stardew Valley, a little bit of Binding of Isaac. On my Switch, I've like exclusively been playing Binding of Isaac and Picross, and that you've already heard enough about Binding of Isaac for me. And Picross is just a classic puzzle game. So, no, that's everything. Like, congratulations, guys, we did it. Episode 14.
Woo! So,
go team.
Make sure to come back next Friday. Do we have a breakdown next Monday?
No, we did it this week.
I couldn't remember. Okay. So come back next Friday for Nintendo Stuff episode 15, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, just like always. Also, come back on Wednesday for our Nintendo Direct live reaction that we'll be having.
We'll be having one whether or not there is a Nintendo Direct.
We'll react to an old one.
Classic.
Let's react to the first Nintendo Direct. The first one ever.
We actually should. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I would actually enjoy doing that.
Well.
So I got some stuff I'll be doing. Still going to be streaming Smash here in the next couple of days. Wasn't able to do any more over this last week. I apologize for that. Just timing didn't work out. But I definitely intend on doing more. I'll let you guys know when that happens. Spooky Hallow stream, Luigi's Mansion. Still planning on that for Halloween. Spend the night with me playing some old Luigi's Mansion on GameCube. Should be a good time. Anything else to plug?
Eventually, but not now for me.
Go watch the new episode of Smashing Tunes. I put more effort into it, and I think it's actually good this time around.
Good. You can follow me at Babababs. You can follow Logan at LoggyDubs. You can follow Paul at Gunnysaurus. You can follow us as a collective at Breakroom Arcade. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on the video on YouTube. Really helps us out. Make sure to rate us on podcast sources, specifically Apple Podcasts. Really help us out as well. If you want to chat with us, make sure to join our Discord. Link in the video description. We have a link to our Patreon if you really want to help us out. We got 2 lovely patrons right now, and they're really making our days better. Thank you guys so much. It's you help us out a whole lot, and I don't think you realize as much as you do. In addition to that, no, I think that was everything. Did I actually do everything for once?
I think you might have.
Probably.
I'm used to forgetting things and then having to stumble over myself and go back. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. We will see you on next Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central, for the next episode of Nintendo Stuff Podcast. But until then, don't break your backs. Break in the games. But for now, break time's over.